This is He Said, She Said. Brought to you by the Urban Breakdown Podcast.
Number one, baby.
Mercedes, let's go. He said, she said, what did they say? He said, she said, what did they say? He said, she said, what did they say? He said, she said, check out what they say. What did he say? What did he say? What did she say? What did she say? What did he say? What did he say? What did she say? What did she say? Hey.
And welcome to another edition of He Said, She Said. Today's topic, dating. What was your best date? What was your worst date? What is your ideal date? And whatever comes out of the concept of dating. We'll start with an operational definition. Mercedes, ladies first.
All right. So, your standard definition of dating is literally going out to get to know someone, whether you're sexually interested in them, personally, emotionally interested. That's just the basis of dating. As when it comes down to gender, we all have our different definitions. As a female, my definition of dating is just almost like the general, getting to know someone, spending time with someone, and from an actual date to the all-around dating aspect of continual getting to know that person, hanging out with them, talking to them on the phone, dating turning into a relationship turning into engagement turning into marriage. But that's another topic. But that's my definition of dating.
Okay. And my definition correlates with your definition. But, if I think about the first date, my first date is to get to know you, see what you're about. But hopefully I already have an inkling about that before I even invest in that meal or that entertainment activity, which might set me back a couple coins. Some people might have to,
I said, very true, I agree. And there was a thought that I had about also when it comes down to dating, best and worst, people investing or putting so much money into a date. If you're truly getting to know that person, does money have to be involved? Can we not go for a walk in the park? Can we not sit down for a cup of cheap coffee? Things like that. So dating the initial date is always money driven some way, but it can be free and more interesting. But I don't think a lot of people take the time to find the free in dating to get to know someone.
And I agree, but then I also have to pull back where I've been in conversations with females that might have been like, oh, they did this, this, and that. They were cheap. I ain't fucking with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't take them to the most high-end restaurant, spend the most coins for a first date, well, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? Wait, how far am I setting the bar for something that might not pan out anyway? Because now that I know that about you, you ain't the kind of female I want to get down with anyway, in my opinion, based on that type of ideology of thought. Anyway,
okay,
like you said, the first date, a lot of people, they default to dinner, and we can even say dinner and a movie. But to me, the movie part is a waste of a date because you can't talk in a movie. That's like wasting 2 hours of entertainment time. You could have been sitting getting to know that person, watching a movie that might be dead ass anyway.
Exactly. So, I will say this: the movie I think it's fun for date night when you're already, if you already know that person.
Right.
You're just boyfriend or in a relationship and you guys are just going out to do something. First date, it's okay, especially if you've had long conversation leading up until that point, or it's okay. But I will say, the movie takes away that 2 to 3 hours, as long as these movies are running nowadays, to tell a story of personal time that you could have had. To discuss the best and worst dates that I've ever been on. I'm gonna go with my worst first, and it's very short because it was that bad. So I went on a date with this guy. We went to the movies. He kept falling asleep in the movie theater, which, you know, I was like, maybe he's tired. He was working, and we were young. This was like early 20s. So he was young, but he was working, like, I think at Michelin. So he was actually working at our young age. So I just said, you know what, maybe he's just exhausted. He had a son. Son was about 3 or 4 years old. So I was like, you know what, maybe he's just tired. So when we got in the car to leave, and I really didn't say anything about him falling asleep in the movie theater, he was like, I said you must be tired, and he said, well, yeah. He said, I cannot make this up. He said, yeah, some girl that I was talking to told me she's pregnant by me, and I think it might be true because I've been sleeping a lot lately. I was like, nigga, what? So why are you out here trying to date somebody else? If you got a baby on the way by someone else, when I tell you the date itself he fell asleep on me, which, like I said, I shook that off. But then you tell me that you possibly have a baby on the way. Is that how you tell someone that you have a baby on the way? It was weird. It was awkward, and I was like, oh, my God, he will never hear from me again. And he never heard from me again.
Oh.
I don't even know how, like, it was. I've had other people tell me about their bad dates, but that one was just like, you wasted my time.
Well, hold up. You didn't appreciate his honesty? I mean, that's pretty honest to him.
He could have told as many conversations as we had before, he could have told him before.
Yeah, I feel you. You see
what I'm saying? You wasted my time. And it wasn't that I cut him off for any other reason. I did appreciate the honesty. But, dude, that's just not how you break to someone that you might have a baby on the way. Not to me. It was just awkward. And then I was really young. In my early 20s, I really didn't have to put up with nothing like that. In your early 20s, when you're dating, you have a lot of options, and you can pretty much, you know, dispose of what you don't want. And I disposed of what I didn't want. I didn't want to deal with that. I ran into him a few years later, and by that time, I think, and we were in our mid-20s at this point, he had 6 children. So, I mean, had I stuck around, I probably would have been a baby mama. So, nope. I'm glad I moved away from that. So, yeah, I'm okay with that decision that I made. What about your worst date?
Wow. I mean, well, let's process that with a music break.
Stroking my hair, soft touch, I help you step your game up. Slow roll it to me, baby. Look me right in my eyes, in my chin, get cocky with it. Flip the heads on this dime. I'm superlicious with the thicker thighs. Slick side, try to hurt him with the hip work ride. Like the way I move my body, it's tempted and thinking naughty. What you classy, don't get no better. Competition just don't exist. So
She's not your average, ordinary chick from around the way. Admire from afar, I need to get a good look at her. From a distance, look stack until she got a good stature. Like my women classy, not showing all the fatty. Sweet aroma in a light breeze when she walks past me. She radiates royalty, conversates with confidence, book smart and common sense.
All right, we're back. My worst date, wow. Yeah, okay. Because, as the male who talks about their worst date, more than likely they're contributing to the worst date. If they're really honest with themselves and they really think about the worst date they had, they probably were the person who made it that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how often does a woman take a man out or treat a man to a date? It's always usually that burden is a lot of times on the male, and, in many cases. And why is that? But that's another story altogether. My worst date was just a really simple, it started off as a really simple date. It wasn't like no first date. We were well established into our relationship, well established into all the intricacies of, being in a relationship. Been on multiple dates, vacations and all that. All right, so one day we're at we're at IHOP. At one time, my favorite just lounging type restaurant. I love breakfast food. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. I almost have an adulterous relationship with breakfast food. I love it so much.
Delicious pancakes.
You know what I'm saying? I love them pancakes and that syrupy syrup. I digress. So, me, like I say her name because she listens to this podcast, but she knows who she is, and she probably don't want her name out there like that because she's married now. But anyways, so we're at Waffle House, and we're just having a jolly old time, eating syrupy pancakes and just talking and kicking it. She says something, I can't recall exactly the statement she made, that was basically, to me, was just like, whatever. So I flipped her off. Just a little flip the bird. I didn't curse or anything, just went, whatever, flipped. But then the whole mood changed. Her mood saddened, her mood darkened. And she was just like, I can't eat anymore, we have to go. And then, we get back to the house, and she packs her stuff because she lives in a neighboring city. And she said, I have to go. And then she left. And then she messaged me later that we can't talk anymore. We can't go out no more. It's just not going to work. And then she indicated to me, this is by telephone, that, she was before my relationship with her, she was in a relationship that had, domestic violence entailed into it. And that, he started off small, just little things. And then he might have used to flip her off, or he might have said this or that before it became physical. And she just indicated that triggered her, I guess something she didn't deal with, or that something, maybe a road she thought that I would go down because of that action. Now, to me, a bird flip ain't shit, but to her, it was her whole trigger for her, her past related to domestic violence. And to me, that communication mistake or that gesture indicated probably the worst date I've ever had.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, luckily we're cordial, we're friends, you know what I'm saying? We speak. Sometimes we spoke about it recently. I told her about today's broadcast. She indicated she knew what direction I was going to go in. She said she'll be tuning in. She said she might drop her perspective on the pre-record. She probably end up saying what I mentioned. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've had some other ones, but to me that's up there.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely see how that could be a trigger. And a lot of times, like you said, there's something small, and it just kind of escalated from there. And it seems like it was not intentional, maybe even jokingly, because me and the guy that I talked to, I'm about the same way. We kind of, just talk to each other, however, whatever, and it's joking, and it's never taken too serious. Every now and then I'll get in my feelings, and I'll be like when I don't want to play that way that day, but it's because we've been talking to each other so long now, I'm pretty much know when he's joking and when he's serious. So for her but there's no domestic violence involved. Now for her, it's almost like swatting a fly swat at the face of an abused animal or something. Like they're going to flinch. And she flinched all the way back into a marriage with somebody else. So I understand. I can see where it just, I can see that. And that's actually kind of a sad thing. I'm pretty sure that incident curved her whole outlook on dating altogether. Not just you, but starting with the domestic violence relationship. So it probably it could have been someone else that done it, and she was gonna, it could have been something else where like I don't know, somebody else could have done something else to her, that would seem domestic violence-esque, the small things, and she would have walked away from it. It's terrifying.
Yeah, and that's understandable. I wish it would have just been a conversation we had, worked through it. Because honestly, in my mind, that was the one I was going to marry. That's the one I was going to have kids with. She was my future in my mind. And it's just amazing how a gesture derailed that whole thing. And that definitely was the worst date that I can think of right now. Now, if we had now in 6 months, we might have another show where something else might come to mind. But yeah.
Exactly. So now, as far as the best date that I've ever been on, this was actually, I would say 2. One kind of trumps the other.
Okay.
The first one, I actually went on a trip to Miami and took a guy that I was dating at the time with me, and we had a blast the whole weekend. But then, me personally, I like strip clubs, and we found a strip club that was, how can I say, I like the strip clubs that are full and packed with people, but I also like to be able to kind of sit on the outside and just, enjoying like a quiet little corner in the VIP, just us. So that's the type of club it was. It was called Tootsie's down in Miami, Florida. So, we went to the other strip clubs, to check them out. Line was out the door, G5, King of Diamonds, all packed with people. So I was like, you know what? Right. Let's try Tootsie's. And Tootsie's, all of them were right there in like a little triangular, about 2-mile radius of each other. So we got the Uber driver to take us to Tootsie's, and it was a blast. I had a blast. I had a fun time. We didn't really do much. It was just a point of, I really liked the environment, and it wasn't overcrowded, and it was packed. Don't get me wrong, but the building was so big, it was like so many people could fit in there, but it was still comfortable. So you could sit around the separate stages. They had like 6 different stages. It was nice. So that was one of the best dates I ever had, because at the end, I think the club didn't close till like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning down there. So once we left, I think we went and grabbed something to eat and went back to the hotel, and that was it. But it was just one of those comfortable dates where we both had fun. And and then there was like one particular stripper, like she was so pretty. And we actually ended up accidentally finding her on Instagram after we got back from Miami. And I was like, oh my God, that is her. But I'll share her details later. She's so gorgeous. But anyway, so, and the one that kind of trumps them, and this one was actually a simple date. As women, how can I say it? When we're asked on a date, the question, where do you want to go, isn't what we always want to hear. Sometimes we like y'all to kind of take control and just make that shit happen, right? So this particular person had been trying to get in my presence for a while, and we actually had been talking for a little while. I met him at like the end of July, and he was pretty persistent, but I was never free enough to do anything. I said, I'm going to make time for this man. I said, because he's very consistent, and he's very persistent, and he's not, letting up. And on top of that, I was like, I actually like our conversations, because we had a lot of deep conversations. And at this point, it was like the beginning of September. So I guess that's like about a month and a half I had been kind of putting off, going on a date with him. But it wasn't the first time he asked. He just said, you know what, I'm going to make plans, and this is what it's going to be. We ended up going to the movies. And we went to, I can't remember what we went to go to. I think it was when the movie It came out back in September. And he pretty much was like, okay, so I'm free today, you're free today, you're free of the kids, we're going to the movies. I'm like, okay. And that was fine. So he came up here, we went to the movies, we hung out, we ended up going to get Mexican food after, and went back to the place, chill, watch TV, and that was it. It was that simple. But the point that he actually took the time to I don't even think he planned it a certain type of way. It just happened, and it was probably one of the most comfortable dates I've ever been on, period. Some other dates, when, like, as a woman, when we go on dates, I don't want to, I like to be myself. And I'm a little weird, I'm a little awkward, I'm just weird. So if I can be myself around you in that dating environment, that's what I like the most. So to be able to just be comfortable and be myself, not have to dress up, not have to be prissy or just overdo it to present myself to this person, and that person is still comfortable with you and still wants to hang out with you, and I still associate with them up until this very day,
Right.
Those are the type of dates as women that we look for to consider the best, because guess what? It was effortless, but he was the man about the situation, and he made it happen. That's what I like. Now, I don't know about other women. Well, I've had a conversation with my best friend, with Brittany, and she was like, you know, she's the same way. Don't ask me what I want. Just surprise me. Even if it's a walk in the park, just surprise me. I don't care if it's a walk in the park with ice cream that you bought at the grocery store. Just show me that you're putting forth some initiative to make our meeting a good one. And that's why that was the best date that I've ever been on. Like, period. And what about you? What's the best that you've ever? Yeah, what's the best you've ever been?
I was like, that, I mean, it's simple, but it got you, and you named it up there with your top ones. Well,
like
damn, keeping it simple, stupid. That's what they say. That's the acronym, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Keeping it simple, got it done.
I'm trying to tell you, that's like I said, as a woman, we don't ask for much a lot of times, but I think sometimes maybe men and their perspective they get from how other women in the past may look at a date, they might set the bar too high. To be completely honest with you, had he done something like taking me to a fancy restaurant, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed myself.
Okay.
I'm simple. Had he cooked for me at the house or something like that, or we cooked together in the kitchen, that would have been great also. Like, they're just the little things. I enjoy those things. I don't like the expensive and the fancy, and plus I'm cheap anyway. So just do something simple, because you putting your time into taking that initiative actually values a hell of a lot more than some $100 meal to me. So those are my top 2 dates in life, all around, period. None of them have really topped them, but the one where the guy took the initiative, that date really, that one set the bar high for anybody else if me and him ever stop associating with each other. Because even the one in Miami, even though that one was really, really nice, and the environment was nice, it was still like number 2 to this one, because again, the first one was just damn amazing. The top one was just amazing, and this one was nice because we were already on the trip. And again, this one, the Miami trip, he still let me be myself. So they both were great. Nobody else's dates, and I know it sounds bad because I was married at one point, and I can't even say those dates. Kinda. It's sad. I'm sorry, but those 2 were 2 of the best dates out of all the dates that I've had. And I've been on a few dates in my life. Those were 2 of the best. And pretty sure if they listen to the podcast, they'll know who they are. But yeah, it's like no one will be able to set the bar as high as the one who just took the initiative. That was the one that meant the most, because I don't even like planning dates myself. I don't mind asking a man out on a date because I'll do it, but I don't know. I would like for them to say, hey, this is what we're about to do. And that's end of story. Hey, bet. Let me throw on just tell me where we're going so I can know how I got to do it.
But ain't that the usual formula? Ain't it always put on the man to do the date thing? The women, how often do women initiate dates?
Well, no, most men ask me, so what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? That's 99%.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like 99% of the time, it's like, what do you want to do? No. As a woman, I'm trying to get to know you just like you're trying to get to know me. And normally when men approach women, as far as, you ask the question so simple as what's your favorite color to how many children you have. You guys kind of always, nobody ever asks you what you want to do, but by allowing you to make the decision on where we're going, that kind of gives me an idea of what you're okay with or what you like, without you thinking about the effort that you had to put into it when it turned out to be effortless in the end anyway. So if he wanted to go to the movies, and we went to the movies, and that was that. Okay, apparently he wanted to see this movie, right? That was one thing that I didn't have to ask in the dating process, but I found out anyway, based on his interest. Hey, he likes horror movies. We went to go see It. He likes horror movies. That was that. So, that's like, I pay attention to details like that. Most people wouldn't, and most women do expect more than is necessary to date somebody. But sometimes it's not always about us. And just because I told him to pick the place doesn't mean I wasn't paying attention as to what he came up with, if that makes sense.
Right.
So yeah, just kind of gave me more of an idea of who he is. So, but yeah. So what's your best? After telling your words, what's your best?
Good question. My best would probably be, it was my birthday weekend. And what's her name? She listens to this station. She knows who she is. It's my birthday, so she was like, she surprised me with these tickets to see, of all comedians, Lil Duval. Oh my gosh, he was such a. No, it wasn't Lil Duval. That wasn't Lil Duval. It was what's the one who had the Walmart accident? Tracy. Help me out now.
Tracy.
Tracy Morgan. It was Tracy Morgan. Oh, he was.
Yeah, Tracy Morgan.
He had such a foul mouth. He was just disgusting. It was the funniest, best comedy show. That's the biggest comedian I've seen up until that time. And, size-wise as well as, fame-wise. Oh, watch out now.
Yeah. Until
so that was a big blast. She took me out to that. She took me out to dinner. You know what I'm saying? Nice restaurant, you know what I'm saying? And I had interactions with her, and this is like a really fresh, brand new relationship. I think we just, hooked up, connected. We connected maybe 2 weeks prior to that. We didn't really do anything or, really know each other until the New Year's Eve, and then my birthday is the 4th of January, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was bam, bam, you know what I'm saying? So, and then we went to this club where they were celebrating my birthday. All the homies was there. Had to stick my head in real quick, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, y'all? Thank you for that. Got my little gift, got my little cake, cut my cake up, blah, blah, blah. And then dipped back out. And then didn't know she had reserved the room or whatever. And then, fireworks and all that good stuff. And, but it's a good night because, for me, and it was my best birthday, my best date, probably because nobody really celebrates my birthday because it's right there by Christmas. It's what?
Yeah.
2 weeks after maybe, 10 days after to be exact. So, but the fact that, she, initiate all these things, the tickets, the restaurant, the hotel room, blah, 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 the fireworks and all the intricacies that entails. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was my best birthday, my best date, you know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful thing. I think that was 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, and that's very heartfelt because, like you said, when your birthday is close to a holiday, most people don't really think about it much. Like my birthday is the day before Valentine's Day. I'm always left to choose. When I've been in a relationship with somebody, choose. No, I don't want to choose. I want to celebrate both, the 13th and the 14th. Why I got to choose? So for her to just take the time and take you out, and all that stuff, that's an amazing date. I have to agree.
I think so. You know what I'm saying? I still think about it to this day because this is I might get a date that tops that, but I don't think I'll ever get a birthday that would ever top that. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. Birthdays are special, and I will say one thing. I've never really gotten to celebrate my birthday completely how I wanted to. So hopefully one day, I can't even guarantee it'll be this year or the next, but hopefully one day, whoever I'm with at the time will actually take the time to help me celebrate my birthday. I really have never done so. I've gotten gifts and stuff every now and then on my birthday, but I'll never forget. It was one time on my birthday, I got a set of pots and pans for a birthday gift. And, I'm not kidding. Everybody can pretty much imagine where that may have came from. Once you get when you're in those long-term relationships and people they don't even put forth effort anymore. Happy birthday,
he might have been you know what, she got these rusty-ass pans. Let me get her some new, shiny, non-stick pans. You might have said something about needing a certain pan. He might have got you exactly what you need.
That's a Christmas gift, Blue.
It's
not a birthday gift.
It ain't what you needed. It's what you wanted. You didn't want that, right?
No. I just wanted something that was more me. I would have taken a gift card to my favorite store or something like that. That probably cost less than pots and pans. The point, no, my pans in my kitchen were just fine. I just felt like it was there was no thought put into it. My birthday, my birthday is literally not even a full 2 months after Christmas. You could have got me that on Christmas. Got me something else for Christmas.
I mean, if you could $50 a week to the side, yeah.
So I don't know. Men just sometimes just don't think. And again, back to that best date. That's why he won, because he actually tried and did something that was, and he may not even know how much I enjoyed it because I didn't say a lot, because I'm also I don't know, I guess I kind of contain my excitement, and I really don't. but I really enjoyed myself. I don't even think I've ever explained to him how much I enjoyed myself. I'm pretty sure I'll talk to him at some point today, but I've never told him. I just enjoy stuff for the moment and just kind of absorb it.
Yeah.
And that's that. So yeah, like, I don't know, but it was, you know, sometimes men have to be just a little bit more thoughtful, and that was the most thoughtful anyone had been without even trying. It just worked. It just, because he could have done that same thing with somebody else, and somebody else could have got mad, you know? Like,
hell yeah.
I mean, yeah, so,
you know, when you said it, it sounded kind of square, but I see that you appreciated it because of the fact that he took, you know, he chunked out a piece of the day. You got to learn something about it, that he likes horror films. I don't know why he picked that one, ew. But
the new It was an amazing movie, Blue. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, you and Mercer will probably agree on that.
Yeah.
Odie and I, not so much.
Yeah, and I think it was a good movie.
King like that. I think the best movie I've seen by him was the remake of what y'all just recently did. Y'all remade Carrie, and that probably was my favorite movie by him.
Yeah, and and that, I think we're having the cast and crew screening coming up on February the 10th. I'm excited about that. So
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I hope they do a good job editing, because, you know, editing can make or break a movie.
Yeah, you're right about that. And so far they've dropped a couple of videos of raw footage, which so far I guess is, you know, look pretty good. But that's without the editing and all that stuff. You know, it's just raw snippets.
I look forward to it. I mean, when you first showed me the script, I was like, this is too close to the original, and they're gonna get you.
Yeah, and well, I will say, we got another one coming up. Filming starts February 24th. Called I Used to Love Her. So yeah, that's coming up, and eventually, once I get all the knots out of my stomach, I'm going to present the play that I wrote and kind of see how that goes. But I'm kind of nervous about that right now, because I don't know if I'm my own worst critic, but I feel like it's stupid. But then everybody, the few people that have read it, like, Mercedes, it's amazing. Like, are you sure? Because I feel like it's stupid, but we'll get there one day. But right now, I love working with her. Felicia's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you should, when you go down there, when you start shooting for that next film, get in her ear and share it with you. I mean, she'll go with it. I mean, she loves the creative process. One of the most original creative people I've known. I've known her since, you go back to 2006. I remember when we first met. It was one of my homegirls introduced me to her. She said, I know you like writing, and this girl's doing this magazine, blah, blah, blah. Lacey. I remember Lacey like it was yesterday. And she said, we connected. We met at a library, and she was she's talking so fast I couldn't understand, because, you know, I'm not a native English speaker. And then we just started vibing, you know what I'm saying? And boom, you know, here it is 11 years later, and we still down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's pretty awesome and very, very, very unique. I will say whenever I do present my play and talk to her, I would like her to come up here and work with me in the upstate, because I want to try to give that opportunity to those up here. Not saying anything with the people, you know, in the low country, but, you know, South Carolina as a whole. But I want to kind of see what type of talent.
Those Geechee accents, you know, they kind of throw the work sometimes.
Yeah, I will say, in the movie Angel's Revenge, I think it's me and there's one other guy. We're the only ones without that heavy Geechee accent. We're the only ones. So yeah. So what I was going to do, I was going to bring it back up this way for myself and, like, kind of do it like a casting call and put it out between Columbia and anywhere between Columbia and, you know, the upstate, and kind of see what I can get out of that and give the opportunity to a couple of people around this way. Because there's probably a lot of talent around here, acting talent that we don't know about, modeling and all that kind of stuff. I like to give those people a chance. Musicians might even be able to come up with a good soundtrack for the film, but we'll see how that goes. A couple of the people that are not necessarily the play is written on, but there are a couple of people that I know personally that I want to be those characters, as I feel like they can portray them the best. So I'm not handing these parts to them, but I would like for them to audition alongside someone else to see if they actually fit the part. But so I'm just trying to give my community and my area a chance, because I don't see a lot of casting calls and different things like that being handled here in the upstate. I just don't see it. Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, I don't see those type of opportunities. So we'll see how that goes. Right.
Well, good luck with that. I'm pretty sure y'all can come up with an amazing project. But, you know, let's go ahead and head out. So you said your ideal date was someone that actually just takes the time to carve out to spend quality time with you and get to know you.
Yes, that is it for me. No matter what we do, the attention to an effortless situation.
In my ideal date, you know, it's pretty much the same thing. But but some of my best dates, you know, besides the fact of my best date ever, like good dates, was actually simple. A couple of homies getting together, you know, maybe like a little small social circle group, maybe 8, 9, 10 of us, and we just do like game nights, games like Heads Up and Taboo and things like that. Those, even years later, I haven't done them in a while, pretty much at that time period, 2014, 2015. But those were good nights. Those were good nights. Those were good days. Those were good. I don't even know if you could say they were date because they were more social. But we good vibes. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, we go home, we laugh, we have fun, we do what we do. We make fireworks, blase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those, you can learn a lot from those. You can learn how quick somebody is on their feet, how quick, how funny they are, how, and they might not be as funny. They might be more reserved. You know what I'm saying? Game nights can show you a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I love game nights. I love game
Exactly.
nights.
It'll show you someone's attitude for sure.
Right.
What makes them tick.
If they're a good loser, if they're funny, if they're hellish, if they're assholes, if they, you know, all kind of stuff you can see. If they handle their liquor correctly, oh my gosh, you get sloppy drunk.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. That's key right there. You can find your lightweights from your heavyweights when it comes to drinking. Yeah. So in the social circle, but yeah. So yeah, that's my ideal date. Of course, the bad dates are gonna happen. Everyone's not compatible, so those are expected to happen. And being single, since I pretty much am comfortable where I am, I haven't been on any dates since, but there have been quite a few prior to that, those particular two. So, that weren't the best, or you get that one date where the guy never really changes. He just, let's go to the same place every single time we go out. Although maybe I don't like that place, but you never asked.
But, you know, and that's and then we have to zoom all the way out, and we have to say communication is the key to any relationship. And then on the flip side, communication is the Achilles heel of any relationship, or lack of.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Have to say something.
You know, I challenge people. I promote, encourage people to have more meaningful dialogue with, potential mates or people or friends or associates or even family, you know what I'm saying, in order to have more meaningful dialogue and have more meaningful conversations. If you've been dating and the guy's taking you to the same restaurant 4 or 5 times in a row, that's your date. Well, one, he's kind of rigid in his thought process, but maybe he thinks that, wow, she really be tearing that chicken Alfredo and shrimp up at TGIF. This is where we're going to go, because he doesn't want to take the chance of you not enjoying yourself at another restaurant. But that should have been a conversation y'all should have talked about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Again, communication. So, yeah, right. I agree. All right.
And that concludes another episode of He Said, She Said. And next time, we offer a topic, via Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please call in and leave your perspective, or call into the live show. And thank you for listening. And make sure you subscribe to the Urban Breakdown Podcast, where you get hit shows like 360 Degrees, Politics, and He Said, She Said, with Mercedes Wright. All right.
All right.
Every now and then, and when I speak, it's just a way for you to let me in. Tell me how can I win, baby? Give me your number, let me call you, lady. You said you got a man, but I'm not feeling that. You're out here all alone, so where the hell is he at? How could he leave you lonely? You'd be my only, and we'd be falling in love. Does he make you cry? Oh, those tears should be from happiness, 'cause you're blessed, got a new love now, so complete that I say, yeah. So high, I I wanna be down, don't you know that what I say is true? So tell me what I gotta do to get next to you, baby. Like I need you, I can see that look in your eye every time you go by. So girl, what you gonna do the very first time that I kiss you? Do you want me like I need you? I can see that look in your eye every time you go by. So girl, what you gonna do the very first time that I kiss you? You need to let your heart be your guide. Girl, don't you hold those feelings inside. I can do better than he can. I need to be a man. Girl, don't you understand? This is the perfect plan. And I'm not there hating him. It's just the way that he has been. Makes me believe you've been mistreated unbelievably over and over again. Tell me why make you cry. Oh, those tears should be from happiness. Cause you're blessed, got a new love now, so complete that I should share. So high, I wanna be down, don't you know that what I say is true? So tell me what I gotta do to get next to you. Like I need you, I can see that look in your eye every time you go by. So girl, what you gonna do the very first time that I kiss you? Do you want me like I need you? I can see that look in your eye every time you go by. So girl, what you gonna do the very first time that I kiss you? Baby, I just wanna talk to you, get close to you. How come I never see him holding you or kissing you? Can we hang out for a little while? I'll make you smile.